It's time for a Forex trading update. I've been doing less of these because I've added crypto trading into the mix, but I still like to try to give updates to let you guys know what trades are being taken, my risk management, and all that good stuff. So currently I'm on a $32 drawdown on a $1,241 account. So it's not, the drawdown's not that much at all. And we're talking about what, just over 2%. I believe that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think that's about 2%. And I have quite a few trades open, as you can see. Let me expand this a little bit higher. You can see that I have quite a few trades open. But they are all very calculated, the risk management at least for all of them. The one that's hurting me the most, though, is the Aussie CAD. Now, as you guys know about the NAFTA stuff with Trump's speech recently, and how that affected the Canadian dollar. And so, you know, those things happen, and my strategy was meant to be traded during events like that, really volatile events like that, or surprising news. And right now it looks like it may be having a recovery up at the 0.99 round number, so we'll see if that extends. It's looking like it's struggling a little bit at 98.7. So it's possible that if it continues to struggle at this level, it's going to extend further, which I hope it doesn't do, but you know, I have a lot of room when it comes to risk and margin. My margin's at 4,000, and like I said, I'm only at just over 2% drawdown. I have a couple of trades open on the pound CAD, so 3 trades open on the pound CAD, 5 open on the Aussie CAD, and 2 open on the Kiwi CAD. So I've got quite a few trades open, and the Canadian dollar is driving the price up on all of them. But I do expect a pullback to happen, hopefully soon. At some point it will. So far this week, I haven't had many closed or many trades. I did have one basket that happened. It was three trades, and I was in on the other side of the Aussie CAD when it pushed down a lot, and took quite a few trades. Now, what I wanted to mention to you, let me shrink this down a bit, and this one too. So this trade was taken back on the 4th. So this one here, I mean, you can see that it's a good setup. It was actually right around number 2, and it did go up, and it almost took profit up here. Wasn't quite enough. I think I was about 3 to 5 pips away from it closing out, and then it, as you can see, the news broke it down further, and I had another trade that entered. Now this move happened really quickly, and typically I have a 20 pip grid on my positions, and this one went in at about 20 pips, about 22 including the spread. And then my 1 trade per candle rule was in effect here. So then it shot down 50 pips below that, but I didn't enter another 2 trades. I waited. My expert advisor waited for the for the candle to close, and then entered another position, which was great because you can see right where that other position was entered, it did end up shooting up. Close of the week happened, gap down, push back down again to that support area, and then shot up from there, and it has continued to do so. So exit here for profit, decent profit, about 50 to 60 pips, and that trade was history. That trade lasted almost 2 weeks because of the drop down. But guys, after a big drop down like that, and being in a 74 pips drawdown on just one of the trades, I'm glad to have a system that's able to recover from that, expecting a pullback to happen, and as you know, it did. just like I expect a pullback to happen. Who knows, maybe not right here, it might extend further, but it will happen at some point. Okay, so trades on Robert's account are slightly different. I have, I know that there's a hotkey to remove the grid, and I can't remember what it is, but he has a few more trades on the NZD CAD, two more trades on the NZD CAD, the same amount on the pound CAD, and the same amount on the Aussie CAD. So he's got a few more. And the unfortunate thing is that since I swapped his account out, we changed accounts, moved his money into a new account at Oanda, and there was a problem with the risks, and so I'm having my trades on the NZD CADs. The NZD CAD trades are pretty much double the risk right now of what they should be. So there's problems with that, and there's also positives. One of the positives is that once the trades move the NZD or the basket of total trades, so that means all three of my pairs start moving into profit, the NZD CAD will likely help push us into profit faster. So one positive there. The negative is that if it continues to go up against me, then we're looking at a much higher drawdown and more fear of running out of margin. So there are a few issues with that, positives and negatives. The reason why I didn't close out the trades right off the bat, so you can see them at 1.212 lots when there should be 55 for this basket. The reason why I left it open is because typically the baskets aren't that many on the Kiwi CAD and Aussie CAD pairs, and that's why I decided to leave it in and take a little bit of a gamble on that one, on this one basket, and then I'll turn back the risk to 55 once this basket closes out. So hope it closes out, because I might run out of margin and be forced to close out the trades manually for a loss anyway. So it could be just one of those unfortunate events that you decide to take a small risk on, and you could come out with a loss. So chances are that I'll come out profitably here, but just have to cross my fingers, and then back to normal after that. So yeah, it was a bit of an error on the EA's expert advisor's part, not understanding what the new account size was. So it wasn't an error on my part. It was just an unexpected error on the expert advisor. It doesn't happen too often, but it does. It does every once in a while. Okay, so let's talk about the trades in general. So inside candle happened here, right on this large 2-bar setup here, right? And I didn't get that on the at Trader's Way. You can see the difference. 2-bar setup there, and the inside candle not quite inside. It was slightly higher. So entry on Trader's Way is actually better than the one at Oanda. Okay, so first entry on the Aussie CAD was a good initial 2-bar setup, but with the unexpected news from Trump, speech from Trump, that changed abruptly after this push up happened. Luckily, though, my one trade per bar took effect, and I didn't take a third entry until 46 pips later, which is good, which is a good thing. Okay, so trades on the pound CAD. Where is the entry? Okay, so the first entry is right here. It's not the best of entries because of this previous high. I don't like it when the expert advisor enters trades like this, but there's no way to control that. So unfortunately, it's something that I just have to deal with. It's not a bad trade per se, but it's not a top quality. I would like it to be above this this previous resistance point, but it did enter down here, expecting a push down. So hopefully this resistance up here holds, and this does push down, helping close out all of my trades in a profitable basket at the same time. Okay, so a couple of questions that were asked on, or a question that was asked on at Forex Factory. So what I see is sticking to the rules, especially risk management. Maybe you can discuss this topic in your next one of your next videos, because it's crucial. Risk management and sticking to your rules is probably the hardest thing in Forex trading, because, well, of course we have greed, but there's also the thing of not trusting the system or strategy that you're using. And so a good way to feel more comfortable with your strategy is to test it backwards and forwards, on demo, back test if you can make an expert advisor of that strategy, and see how it does over time, and that should be able to give you a little bit more comfort in your strategy and helping you stick with it. That's what I've done with mine. With my strategy, though I have had some problems in the past on trying to back test it, I've recently since figured that out, and everything is okay when it comes to back testing the strategy, and it is very solid over a 10-year period of time on all three of my pairs. And sticking to your rules. Okay, so I know rules can change, and we're in a market that's constantly changing itself. And so our rules do have to be modified over time to adapt to the market. And that's not an easy thing to do, because we're always one step behind. Because once something happens, or something different happens, we're not quite prepared for that, and it can throw us through a loop. So the best thing we can do is what I've done again, and what I've talked about, is creating an expert advisor to run your strategy, to see how well it does over news events, periods of time, over all sorts of currency pair behavior. And I've talked about behavior in the past, but I think it's pretty crucial to developing a strategy behind it, because if I can gain 10 years of behavior on a certain currency pair, that's going to give me better chance of knowing what may happen in the future, because I have 10 years of data to go by, instead of 1 year of data, when 2016 was way different than 2017 when it came to how price worked and behaved on, for example, the Euro-US dollar. And so the more years you can gather, the better suited that you'll be for the future ahead. So that's what I've tried to do, and sticking to your rules based on previous data, and making modifications that hopefully can improve profitability of that data, of that previous data, and potentially better filters to help sustain your account and your profitability over the future. So, for example, like my one trade per candle strategy, that helps when there's a lot of volatility in the market. So it's those kind of things that help keep a strategy profitable over the longer term. It's not just what works in the past, but what also may work in the future. So anyways, I think that's where I wanted to leave this video, and I won't be doing another update for a few days because I'm going out of town and playing another concert. So I'll be back with another update probably in about a week or so, and hopefully we'll see how these trades close out, or when and how they close out on my personal account. But let's see if I can get out of this one with the awkward lot sizes on the KiwiCAD on Robert's account. Oh yeah, you probably can't see the balance. So let me move my picture up to the top so you can see better. Alright, so I know that it's been 15 minutes of that. You probably were like, what are you talking about? So yeah, it's the 115,000 down here, and the 2,000 on my personal account down here, and well, 1,240. So the New Zealand CAD is really struggling to push down from there, but there is a good amount of resistance up there, and I hope it holds. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's update, and I'll see you guys on the next video in about a week or so.